America's Dumbest Criminals. How Sheff G's dangerous Crips took over Brooklyn. Took over everything in this video is alleged by the Brooklyn District Attorney and NYPD. Events are still to be proven in a court of law. Facts.
Welcome back to another episode of Swamp Stories. For this video, we cover a major story in the recent news. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. You can also follow the Instagram page as well. So let's get into it. Over the last 10 years, New York...
They got 1 million yet? They only got 300K. That's a good ratio.
City has been one of the safest cities in America. In fact, in some years... 10 years.
Nah, crime in the 90s used to be crazy.
New York City has been one of the safest cities in America. In fact, in some years, it's had lower crime than European cities like London and Paris. Much of this is attributed to cameras, strict laws, and district attorneys actually prosecuting crime. Because of this, being a criminal in New York is one of the dumbest things a person can do. There's no getting away with anything. It's just a matter of time before your name pops up in the next indictment. This all reigns true even for the worst part of the city, which happens to be the Bronx. Believe it or not, the Big Bad Bronx has a lower homicide rate than Seattle and even San Diego in 2022. But for this video, we focus on Brooklyn, specifically the Flatbush neighborhood. Historically, the neighborhood has been a stronghold for Crips, but in typical New York fashion, everything changes by generation. And for this generation, things are complicated and pretty messy. As police explain it, everything goes by specific buildings and specific blocks. For example, one set will claim a building and their rivals will claim the building directly across the street. None of it makes sense to
I hate his voice so much, bro. The way he just like sounds.
Outsiders, but in New York, that's just how things operate. Well, starting around 2014, Flatbush became divided into 4 sections, like, all claiming.
Like, it's just like, I don't know. Nah, you don't sound that way, but like, it sounds like you got a flow to it. Like, he just like the way he pronounces and delivers shit. Just, what the fuck? They got the whole map. What okay.
Different buildings. First, you have the
I don't think it's AI. If it is, it sounds like AI because the way it flows, like.
Insane Crips, also known as the ICG Babies. The Babies cover 2 very small sections of Flatbush. One is a small project located on 131 East 21st Street. This is their main territory and it's known as the Castle. Next, they have a small territory located on Crown Street, which is known as their second hood. ICG happen to be the smallest set and have the least territory in Flatbush. Next, you have the Folk Nation Gangster Disciples, who are spread out throughout Flatbush. The set originated in Chicago and made their way into New York City in the 1990s. Well, in Flatbush, they cover 4 different sections: H Block, NLC, Ebbets, and most importantly, the 50s. Well, ICG Babies and the Folk Nation are both rivals of the next 2 sections. First, let me introduce you to the 9 Ways G-Stone Crips. These guys hold down the largest single territory of them all, and this territory happens to be the most treacherous as well. On top of this, these guys are known to cause problems anywhere they go. And finally, we have what everyone is here for. The 8-Tray Crips are easily the biggest and baddest section of them all. Their first territory
There's a lot of misinformation.
Territory is known as the Cadden.
Like these maps and like a lot of this shit.
8-Tray, located in East Flatbush. The large territory actually has the ICG Castle located right in the middle of it, which makes things complicated. Next,
because it's not like Siggy and Sheff is never gonna get on a track together. Sleepy and Sheff and Siggy never gonna get on a track.
You have the 40s and finally the flossy 80s. Well, with 9 ways and all of these 8-Tray sections together, it makes for a pretty powerful force. And according to police, they're all led by a very important man. Let me introduce
Siggy is never gonna do a song with Sheff or Sleepy, bro.
You to Michael Williams, commonly known as Sheff G. Sheff was raised on Church Avenue and came under the man who's credited with bringing 8-Tray to Brooklyn. Well, in his teenage years, Sheff G began rapping and gained a major buzz throughout the city. And quickly after just a year of rapping, he began getting 5 to 10 million views on each of his songs. Personally, I can say that he's one of the only New York drill rappers that isn't a complete joke. But he isn't the only popular rapper in the 8-Tray circle. By his side is another popular rapper named Tegan Chambers,
Damn. Yo.
commonly known as
This shit dropped pandemic music,
Hollow.
bro.
And just like Sheff G, this guy blew up in music as well. Together, the two began taking over the drill scene, but little did people know they were also living wild lives in the streets. It all began in the spring of 2019 when 9 Ways and A Tray officially clicked up. This was a force to be reckoned with, but it wasn't exactly the smartest group of men. In March of 2019, Sheff G decided to make a group chat with all of the A Tray and 9 Ways members. And to clarify, this
Ain't no fucking way. What's that, Temple Run?
wasn't
Temple Run 2?
Jack phones or WhatsApp. This was everyone's personal iMessage. To make matters worse, inside the group chat, they discussed the specifics on when and where they're gonna slide on the rivals.
Ain't no way.
And on the morning of May 24th,
Do you think Ohio's more
2019,
dangerous than
Sheff
Philly?
G would make a Facebook post that kicked everything
Cleveland
off.
probably more
The
dangerous than
post
Philly?
stated for gang, allegedly
I don't know anything
egging
about
on
Ohio.
members to make a move. And later that night, a move would be made. 10 p.m. A 9 Ways member named Shomari Hudson takes a trip down to the Folk Nation 50s. After running up and down their blocks, he finally notices a member on Clarkson Avenue. And that's when he makes his move. Thankfully, the man was okay, but for some reason, Shomari didn't think this was the case. Only 30 minutes after doing this, Shomari would text the group chat. He said, "I just made hot in the 50s, check the Citizen app." For people who don't know, the Citizen app is an alert system where people can see police reports in real time. Well, about an hour later,
You know, lie, that shit is so fucking stupid. Group chat? Like, come on, bro. Like, yo, bro, FaceTime.
the 8 Tray and 9
Don't call people, don't text people, just FaceTime.
Ways members
They
would
can't track
respond
FaceTimes.
telling him that he didn't do a good enough job. So to prove his worth, Shomari would slide again 2 days later, March 26, 2019. Shomari runs down to the 50s again, but this time he hits nothing but plywood and decides not to text the group chat. Well, in typical New York fashion, nothing would happen over the next year except for numerous diss tracks and
Why does he keep saying that, bro? Like, why does he keep saying in typical New York fashion, they don't do shit for a year and they just make diss tracks?
Typical New York fashion, nothing would happen over the next year except for numerous diss tracks and multiple social media posts. First, a 9 Ways member named Mark Wright would post on Facebook saying, "Free all my ops, and when they get home, they get popped too." Then an 8 Tray member named RJ Flossie would say, "When I spin the veers, I bet I make it back." This refers to the Vanderveers estate, a Folk Nation project. Well, after posting this, he would actually come through on his promise. August 6, 2020, RJ Flossie drives to the Folk Nation area in a rented Mercedes C300. He passes through the infamous Vanderveer estates where members can usually be found. And on Foster Avenue, he spots 5 rival members outside.
AR.
Thankfully, nothing was hit but plywood, but for some reason, RJ Flossie thought differently. Later that night, he would text the group chat and tell them to check the Citizen app. After finding out that no one was hit, let's just say that Sheff G was not pleased. Even though he was making major bags in music, his mind was still in the streets of Brooklyn. Overall, he was not satisfied with what his squad was doing. So in September of 2020, he decided to help out all of his members. To do this, he got in contact with another 8 Tray set. Somehow, Sheff G was able to get in contact with the 8 Tray Crips in Sumter, South Carolina, and after befriending them, he was able to get them.
They show picture. Isn't that where John Morant's from?
8 Tray Crips in Sumter.
I know John Morant's from a little ass town in South Carolina. This where he's at? This where he's from? Oh nah. I need to stop playing with John Morant. Why is he wearing them fat ass Kobe's? That shit should be a crime. Those Kobe's are so ass.
South Carolina, and after befriending them, he was able to get them to drive up to New York City with all kinds of blowers. The guys in Sumter would legally purchase them there and then flip them to Sheff G for double. On September 19th, the delivery would arrive, and Sheff G would then make a terrible decision. He would take a picture of all the items and send it to the group chat.
Ain't no fucking way, bro. Shit like this is unbelievable, bro. I cannot believe that shit. There's no way you cannot be that fucking stupid, bro. You cannot say that. I say you can't say that. I cannot believe this shit, bro.
He would then say, "When we touch, it's Royal Rumble."
Yo.
The message had many of the members excited and ready to go. Of course, one of these was RJ Flossie, and he was the first member to respond. The next day at 12:50 p.m., he texts his fellow member Shamar Brown, also known as Dottie. He asks him, "Yo, what's the wave today? Are we hunting or nah?" Dottie responds with a simple answer: "Duh." Now that members
ain't no fucking way, bro. This is not. I cannot believe this shit, bro. Not be this stupid, bro. His phone got hacked. Something, bro.
Were ready to slide. All they needed was
we hunting or not. Duh.
Car to do it in. So at 6:30 p.m., 5 members meet up and run around Brooklyn looking for a car to take. At 6:37 p.m., they notice a Mercedes S550 left unattended. The members then look at the specialist Dottie and tell him to go get it. So at 6:45 p.m., Dottie runs out, hops in the car, and drives away. The members plan to use this car to slide on rivals, but unfortunately for them, Dottie was pulled over shortly after and sent to jail. Well, with Dottie gone, they needed another member to step up and replace his car-taking skills. And finally, after a month,
bro, they got it, bro.
Members would step up and go looking for cars. October 19th, 2020.
Everybody got their room.
5 p.m. JJ Bands and Smalls run around Brooklyn looking for cars. At approximately 6:30 p.m., they notice a white Jeep Grand Cherokee with the door open. And that's when they put on their...
What the fuck is New York on, bro? Everybody just leave their car unattended? Yo, bro, I never left my car on, ran back inside, and then ran back outside. What the fuck? This is just normal?
Ski mask and gloves.
They just walking around looking for a new car to get.
And decide to go. After a tussle with the owners, the members...
What the fuck? They fighting people over their car?
Approximately 6:30 p.m., they notice a white Jeep Grand Cherokee with the door open. And that's when they put on their ski mask and gloves and decide to go. After a tussle with the owners, the members are able to take the Jeep and get away. At 7:15, the members park the Jeep in the projects and go up to an apartment. There, they plan their next mission, but that's when they receive an alarming text. At 8...
I ain't gonna lie, that is so fucking stupid. You just fought the owner of the car. They're gonna be looking for the car, but then y'all gonna park it up and then just leave it in the fucking parking lot? Like, you don't think the cops gonna be on it?
8:21 p.m., Sheff G sends a message to the group. He says, "Bro, Billy just got Billy's real..."
Yo, bro, ain't no way these texts are real.
Real name is...
Like, I still haven't seen a fucking indictment, bro. I don't know where he's reading from, but I still haven't seen, like, the indictment papers.
It's Kamandre Dakatu, and he's possibly the most feared A-Tray member. While the other members were taking the car, Billy was targeted outside of his residence. Thankfully, the Folk Nation members pulled a game...
Why do they keep saying AR when you talk about fucking Veer side?
6 Clay Thompson, and they didn't hit anything. Still though, Sheff G was pissed, and he urged his members to make a statement back. Well, Billy himself took no time to get back, and he instantly contacted JJ and Smalls to use their Jeep. 9:07 p.m. Billy slides around the Folk Nation area in the stolen Jeep with nothing but anger and vengeance on his mind.
What is this, 2019?
At 9:32, he spots rival members outside on Pitkin Avenue, and that's when he rolls down his window. Thankfully, Billy pulled a Ben Simmons. And only
damn, is everybody Ben Simmons?
Well, after returning
that's good
home,
though.
Billy
People not
and
dying.
His fellow members would have a FaceTime call where they would discuss their next moves. The new plan was for a member named G Gill to drive and for Billy to bounce out on foot. But after ditching the white Jeep, the members needed another car. And that takes us to 2 days later on October 21st, 2020. At 3 p.m., G Gill heads down to 128 Rockaway Boulevard in Queens. That's where he notices an unattended Infiniti G35. He puts his mask on, sprints over to the car, and hops in. He speeds away and texts Billy, "Where you at?" At 5:08 p.m., Billy responds 1784 Broadway Boulevard. So G Gill pulls up on him, and for the next 2 hours, they plan their mission. For whatever reason, G Gill decides not to tag along, so Billy goes alone. At 10 p.m., Billy hops in the Infiniti and heads over to the Folk Nation area. And at 10:15, he arrives at 285 Hawthorne, a known Folk Nation hangout spot.
Why do they keep showing AR? That's just pissing me off.
Outside, he spots a crew of rappers and Folk Nation members. So that's when he hops out. Bam.
Theodore Blick.
And Folk Nation members. So that's when he hops out. Bam. Billy drives away and is able to make it home. About 30 minutes later, Sheff G texts the group chat with a simple question. The next morning,
It says score question mark?
Everyone learns that a Folk Nation member named Sniper Blicky was the victim. And that's when Billy and G Gill go on Instagram Live screaming GDK and throwing up signs. Little do they know NYPD is in the live as well. But
I'm telling y'all, bro, this is that internet shit, bro. Everybody want clout. Yo, this shit's crazy, bro. I still don't believe this shit. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way.
We'll say,
I'm telling you, bro. And they not even like the biggest rappers. They don't rap, don't do nothing, bro. They just normal people on a block. They went live. They slamming the rakes. It's GDK. We smoking this person. Cops in there the whole time, screen recording this shit. Building that indictment up. That's
that for later in the video. In the meantime, Sheff G decided to host a lavish dinner at a steakhouse in Manhattan. About 10 to 12 A-Tray and 9 Ways members were there, and it's alleged that the dinner was to celebrate Billy's actions. While all of this is going on, Sheff G is blowing up musically like never before. And with all this rap money, he smartly decided to move out of the hood. He decided to purchase a nice home about an hour west of New York in the nice suburb of Short Hills, New Jersey. The house quickly became the new hangout spot for A-Tray and 9 Ways members. Members were allowed to spend the night and kick it for as long as they want. This gave them the leverage to hide out for weeks on end, making it nearly impossible for the rivals to find them. Because there are so many suburbs around New York, a rival could never find them. The only way would be if A, the members posted their location, B, if a female they're dealing with exposes where they are, and C, if there's a snake within the circle to find them. Because there are so many suburbs around New York, a rival could never find them. The only way would be if A, the members posted their location, B, if a female they're dealing with exposes where they are, and C, if there's a snake within the circle. Sadly, one of these would reign true. Now I want you to guess which one it is.
I already know C.
The answer is C. An unnamed A-Tray member was jealous about money and decided to reveal their location to the rival ICG babies. In early
and he was just talking about the ICG was part of this and that.
April of 2021, the member decided to give them Sheff G's location, and that takes us to April.
Whoa! So that means yo.
It's a regular.
God.
Sheff G's location, and that takes us to April 5th, 2021. It's a regular Monday night in the quiet Short Hills, New Jersey, and the A-Tray members are hanging out at Sheff G's house. Little do they know the ICG babies are parked across the street waiting for someone to step outside. After hours of waiting, the members get tired and decide to go to their last resort, so they roll down their windows and bang. Thankfully, everyone was okay, but the
Come on, bro. Shooting up a random ass suburban house.
The incident shook up Sheff G. The members were confused on how they got their location, as they were always sure of who was in and out. Well, later that night, an A-Tray member named LV Brim would text the group chat that they need to get back on terror timing. At 2:30 a.m., Sheff G would respond, "Tomorrow we on it." LV Brim then responds, "Say no more, I think it was ICG who did."
Like, bro, he damn near biting the cheese at that point. Like, he lying though. He don't know exactly. How the fuck you know exactly?
3 minutes later, Sheff G would respond, "I'm getting a rental in the morning and we spinning." The next morning,
what did he say?
Sheff G would respond, "I'm getting a rental in the morning and we spinning."
I do not believe Sheff G is this fucking stupid. I do not believe he's this fucking stupid.
The next morning, Sheff G would go big or go home.
Really?
April 6, 2021. At 3 p.m., Sheff G leaves an exotic rental place in a Jeep Trackhawk. From there, he heads directly to the A-Tray territory in Brooklyn. He then picks up 3 members, Mick, LV Brim, and Torch. Then, from inside the car, the members discuss their plans.
Yeah, red seats!
After finalizing their plans, Sheff G hops out and calls an Uber back home to New Jersey. From there, the other A-Tray members begin spinning around the ICG territory. At 4:33 p.m., the members spot rivals outside on Canton Avenue, and that's when Torch lets off his torch. Thankfully, everyone, including the ICG member, were okay. Well, after doing this, they all speed off in the Trackhawk to 481 Washington Avenue. This is where they park the car and all call Ubers to go home to Short Hills, New Jersey.
Yo, bro, I just don't like that they naming off like different people, different rivals and shit by name, bro.
This is where they park the car and all call Ubers to go home to Short Hills, New Jersey. But before they can leave, Sheff G texts the group chat to wipe off the car. So
he is not that fucking stupid,
members
bro.
get wet wipes and wipe everything down. Then an hour and a half later, they all arrive at Sheff G's house. There they learn that all of the members were okay and
Wait, did they just leave the car?
481 water were okay. Torch. Thankfully, everyone, including the ICG member, were okay. Well, after doing this, they all speed off in the Trackhawk to 481 Washington Avenue. This is where they park the car and all call Ubers to go home to Short Hills, New Jersey. But before they can leave,
the car is in Sheff G's name. Why the fuck would you just leave it?
Sheff G,
like, that's a shit that don't make sense to me, bro. I don't think Sheff G's this fucking stupid.
Chat to wipe off the car. So the member.
Nah, Sheff G wasn't there, but he rented the car, picked up the guys, left, like, he got out the car, called an Uber, they took off with his rental, and then he just went home. And then they allegedly spun somebody's block, texted Sheff G like, oh, we did what you did, dropped the car off, and then caught Uber's back, and then he was like, oh, wipe off the car before you leave, though. Like, that shit don't make no sense. What? Oh, the YouTuber.
Get wet wipes and wipe everything down. Then an hour and a half later, they all arrive at Sheff G's house. There they learn that all of the members were okay, and according to police, Sheff G was not happy. He really wanted that to be a successful mission, and he was disappointed in his members. A couple weeks later, he would text the group chat, "Y'all be taking years, you see why I just want to do it myself." He then said if G Gill want to go on foot, I'll bring him to the babies myself. No members would volunteer to slide as they all wanted to lay low. And that's when Sheff G really started getting frustrated. 10 days later on April 23rd, he texts, "On Grandpa, let's get this done. I got $5,000 for you." And that's when LV Brim volunteers to slide. Then right after him, Dottie, Ace, and JJ Bands volunteer to slide as well. So the same—
this shit is fucking crazy. You should not be having these conversations in text messages, bro. Oh, who's sliding with me tonight? Oh, I'll go. No, I can't make it tonight.
At 7:30
like, what the
p.m., the four members get together to plan. At 9:32 p.m., they arrive in the ICG territory on McDonald Avenue. They spot a bunch of ICGs outside, and that's when the four members hop out. Thankfully, everyone was okay, and the 8 Trey members were able to get away. They parked the car on 456 Brooklyn Avenue, wiped it down, and took an Uber back to Short Hills. While at the house, they realized that
this shit really like the fucking— what's it called?
They made a
not the safe haven, but like
terrible mistake.
The main
One of the
spot.
members named Ace had left his ID in the stolen car they used. Now they knew that it was only a matter of time before police found out. So with their fingers crossed, all of the members decided to lay low and relax in New Jersey. During this period, Sheff G would focus on music and stacking his money. But then on June 21st, 2021, crazy information was discovered. This is the day when A-Trey learned that one of their members had gone behind their back and given their location to the ICG babies. Now this—
yeah, he got out of the indictment. I haven't seen that indictment, so I don't know.
This is something that all of the members could get on board with. They all wanted to punish this member. So after kicking him out of the group chat, they all decided what they were gonna do. Later that night, a bunch of members would get in 3 separate cars and go to his residence. There they would call him outside and then chase him down the street. After catching up to him, they would all jump in. But after 10 minutes, they began hearing sirens, and that's when they all hopped in the car.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Getting jumped for 10 minutes is wicked. How the fuck you not knocked out yet or something?
And drove away. At this point,
y'all not kicking hard enough.
Members recognized that everything was falling apart, so they decided to lay low and let things settle. For Sheff G, he was in the midst of fighting a case from August of 2020. So this means that while all of this was going on, Sheff G was actually out on bond. While after a year of court dates, Sheff G was sentenced to 2 years in prison in September of 2021. While he was away, most of the members decided to lay back. That would be except for LV Brim, G Gill, and the infamous Dottie, who was released in early 2021. For them, just because Sheff G was gone did not mean that the beef was over. December 27th, 2021.
Damn, 2
At
days after
2:30
Christmas?
p.m., LV Brim walks over to the Folk Nation territory by himself. While walking down the 1800 block of Nordstrand, he notices a rival member, and that's when he chases him down the street. Thankfully, the man would be okay, and
Damn.
LV Brim knew that he had messed up. He didn't plan this out, and he had no exit
What did he text the
plan.
group chat?
Somehow, though, he was able to make it home by running through alleys. After making it home at 4 o'clock, he would text the group chat, "I
There you
just
go.
did some hot
Right. He just texted the group chat again.
SMA."
This is
But
fucking crazy.
unfortunately, he wouldn't be the only member to do something wild. January 11th, 2022. Dottie, Taffy, and G. Gill all meet up at G. Gill's apartment. There at 7 p.m., they begin getting
the group
ready to
chat?
slide in the ICG territory.
They
At
text group chat before?
7:40, they
Like,
leave the
damn.
apartment and head over to
Gotta
the
let everybody
rival
know.
territory. They notice members outside and they chase them into the buildings. And inside the lobby, things get wild. Thankfully,
Running
no
off
one
shots
was
in
hit,
the
but
lobby?
G. Gill would fall while running and injure his leg badly. In the process, he dropped.
How the fuck you injured your leg?
No
Unathletic
one was hit,
ass.
but G. Gill would fall while running and injure his leg badly. In the
Yo, he tripped and fell. Yo.
process, he dropped his phone, and this is how he was arrested the next day.
Yo, this is some movie shit, bro. You fucking ran, tripped, dropped your phone, injured your leg, and didn't notice any of that shit, bro. You didn't notice the phone out your pocket, nothing.
From inside his cell, Sheff G knew that things were crumbling down, so somehow he was
It's probably just adrenaline. He just like locked in on keeping up with everybody. Fell. I don't know, bro.
able to text
I know he was sick when he got home. He was like, gotta check the group chat. Wait. Fuck, like, that feeling gotta be
the
dripped.
group chat while behind bars and tell them to wipe all of their phones.
Wait, what? He's still texting the group chat? Yo, bro, this group chat
The
is
next
crazy.
day, from inside his cell, Sheff G knew that things were crumbling down, so somehow he was able to text the group chat while behind bars and tell them to wipe all of their phones. Little did he know NYPD could access this information regardless. Well,
Exactly, you're a fucking dumbass. Like, if this is real, Sheff G's a fucking dumbass. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you think deleting text messages, they're just gone forever. That's not how shit works, bro. They can get any fucking text message you ever sent, anything you ever looked up, anything, any phone call you ever made. They can get all that
with
shit.
Sheff G and G Gill behind
This fucking group chat is fucking wild.
bars, the other A-Tray members
Do not
began
believe
getting
this.
nervous for their fates as well. In
Right.
fact, in May of 2022, an argument broke out in the group,
group
chat
chat?
about whether the police.
This fucking group chat, bro. They fucking arguing in the group chat and everything.
In fact, in May of 2022, an
This shit
argument
is
broke
fucking
out in the
crazy.
group chat about whether the police can uncode their messages or not. A member
we go.
named Smalls would say the police can't understand that shit, bro.
Nah, he's the dumbass. He didn't know how to understand Pig Latin, so he was like, please can't
Unfortunately for
understand that
him,
shit.
they definitely can.
It's fucking Pig Latin. It's already a language. It's a known language. If you make a code up yourself, that's way harder for the police to decode, bro. And no one watched The Wire? Like, come on, bro. Pig Latin got a whole name, everybody knows how to
Over the next
understand
year,
that shit,
police
bro.
would investigate
Like, people get paid to decode messages. Like,
the
are people
A-Tray
stupid,
and
bro?
9 Ways Crips. They would take their time to build the strongest case possible for the DA. According to the police chief, there could have been hundreds of arrests, but they decided to focus on
Like, I was looking at The Wire, like, damn, bro, they jobs is hard. But I'll be looking at, like, present day shit. Like, people are just fucking dumb, bro. Like, if I was a detective on this shit, I would be rubbing my hands. Like, this shit is a open and shut case. If it's true, I don't know. I haven't seen the papers. I don't know if this shit is true, but, bro.
the most important
Motherfuckers is
factors.
dumb
During
if this
the
shit is real.
investigation, they were granted access to all of the members' phones.
They are texting in group chats. Bro, they are texting their every move, bro. Just did some hot shit. Check Citizens app.
For
Like,
months and
what
months,
the fuck?
investigators went through the group chat looking for information. They then were granted
they
surveillance footage from every single incident and the residences where all of the members live. From this, they were able to track nearly every single move that A-Tray did. This all made for
I ain't
possible.
gonna lie. The one thing we haven't seen in this video is Sleepy. Sleepy hasn't done anything. I still want to know what his charges are. Because I really think they just guilty by association.
Possibly
That's
one
what
of
they
the
think.
easiest cases in American history.
Damn.
On May 6th, for possibly one of the easiest to track nearly every single move that A-Tray did. This all made for possibly one of the easiest cases in American history. On May 16, 2023, 32 8 Trey and 9 Ways members were arrested. In total, there are 140 felony charges, all ranging from 1 to 30 years each. From what it seems, Sheff G is being painted as the leader and orchestrator, kind of like...
They looked in this fucking group chat and just scrolled all the way up, and then they just started scrolling down just smiling, bro. This group chat is crazy as fuck, bro. They kicking people out the group chat that snaked them and then going jumping them in real life for 10 minutes.
Young Thug and YSL. And in my opinion, Sleep is the
what?
leader ranging from 1 to 30 years each. From what it seems, Sheff G is being painted as the leader and orchestrator, kind of like Young Thug and YSL. And in my opinion, Sleepy Hollow is kind of like Gunna. He didn't do anything, but he's being blamed for being an associate. And it's honestly sad that this is coming at such a crucial time in his career. But again, this is
literally, bro. Sleepy is, yo, pretty Sleepy.
Lesson.
I know Sleepy not gonna be in the courtroom saying yes, ma'am.
For people to stay out of the streets. The way I see it, generational wealth is being stopped because of dumb decisions. Especially in New York City, which is the last place you want to get caught. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode of Swamp
We gotta hold
Stories.
people accountable.
If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.
Like, if Sheff is doing this shit, we gotta hold him accountable. Not gonna lie. This is fucking crazy. I gotta see that indictment. They rap about killing and can't even hit a target. LMAO. He a dick rider. Thankfully, no one was hurt for the 10th fucking time. Oh god, they did a lot of Ben Simmons, but it's for the better. Glad people didn't die or get shot. This man would never let Ben Simmons and Gunna live. Damn. They all were grown men living with their mom because it takes 12 years to get a project in NY, meaning one of them had their own spot. Huh? Whatever that means. Rule number 1, never conversate about anything illegal you did through text messages with anyone at all. Yeah, I thought everybody knew that. Never post or brag about anything illegal you did on social media for anyone to see and get yourself in trouble. Thought everybody knew that. If you happen to do anything illegal, always speak about it in person, never on the phone. Never speak about it to anybody unless it's your lawyer. But this has to be the first gang war I've seen when nobody can hit hit the broadside of a barn. I don't know what that means. Billy kind of looked like Waka Flocka. And you spelled his name wrong. It's not a RICO, it's an indictment. Yeah, it's state indictment. Now, I think Sleepy gonna get home soon. I think, like, yeah. And it's like, he don't got no gun charges, no open cases whatsoever. So I have faith Sleepy will be home ASAP. On some fucking K-Hound type shit. He got money. We got stormtroopers beefing. What does that mean? Nah, Sleepy not chilling. He still got an open case, but I think he has a lot better chance than Sheff G. That was fucking wild, bro. That group chat is crazy to me, bro. Like, I do not believe Sheff was that fucking stupid. Bro was in this shit talking about, I think it was ICG. We gotta spin a block and go hit him up again. Like, you got the rent for tomorrow? Like, that shit is crazy, bro. I just did some hot shit. Check Citizens app. My bad. Like, damn, what the fuck?